What is going on, everyone? My name is evanmoney, and it's been a little while since I've done a more informative video on my channel. So now that the Skywars update came out about a week ago, I figured there was quite a bit to talk about, especially in the kits. There's 5 new kits, and they all are pretty interesting. So that's what this video is mostly about. I hope you guys enjoy and maybe learn a thing or two. So the two main playstyles in Skywars are rushing the middle and camping your own island. So if we look at all the new classes by what items they receive in the beginning, we'll notice that the metal class is the only one that receives a pickaxe, which makes it pretty much the only viable option for camping. Alright, so now we're going to be looking at all the classes in 3 categories: their recovery, their mobility, and how good they are in PvP. So I judged each category based on a 5-star system. So because metal doesn't have any recovery or anything to help with its mobility, it got a 0 out of 5 for both of those categories. However, it has a couple of things to help in PvP, or that are supposed to help in PvP. So the first being the magnet. So here's a clip of magnet being used. It has a decent range if the person's wearing all 4 pieces of armor, about 10 blocks. You might have also noticed that damage resistance is down as a 0 out of 5 for effectiveness, and this is because it actually does not work at all. Even though it shows the potion effect in-game, no damage is actually resisted. So pay attention to how much damage is taken by each hit. It's 1 or 1.5 hearts each time, and that's what the resistance for. Now if I go over and start hitting the account that doesn't have resistance, you'll notice that with full iron it is the same exact amount, 1 heart to 1.5 hearts every single time. One more thing that I wanted to mention while we're still kind of talking about camping is that the amount of ingots that pop out of an iron ore when you break it changes every single game. I've seen it as low as just 1 ingot that pops out for every ore broken, and I've seen it as high as 25 that pop out, which was pretty crazy. They flew everywhere. So you can see by these clips, 2 spawn, 5 spawn, 6 spawn, it changes every single time. Alright, now we're moving on to the 4 remaining classes, which will generally be used for rushing. First up is the Ice class. Ice only has 1 ability, Ice Bridge, which there really isn't much to talk about. You can use it to move island to island, however, I gave it a 2 out of 5 for both mobility and recovery, because it's pretty easy to get knocked off the bridge. The next class is Fire, which is just about as effective in Skywars as eating noodles with a spoon. It only has 1 ability, Fire Burst, which has a 45-second cooldown, 3 block range, and does 3 hearts of damage. So yeah, that noodle with spoon might actually be a lot better. Now moving on to some of the stronger classes, here's my evaluation for the Air class. Air has 2 really strong abilities, with the first one being the Eye of Ender. Eye of Ender teleports you back to land if you fall off, and besides that, it's also great for juking out opponents. When they're chasing you, you can hop off, then they start running away, and you can teleport back onto the island. The other ability is Leap, which is probably the most versatile ability in the game. It can be used to move island to island very quickly, to recover after falling off, and to engage and run away from situations in PvP. One other notable thing is that there's currently a glitch where you're able to use abilities in the lobby, such as that, for the leap. And so usually when the game starts, there's supposed to be a 30-second cooldown, or cooldown that's normal for the class. So for Air, for example, the cooldown on leap is 30 seconds. And so now when I go into the game, my cooldown on leap will be available right away, since I did the leap in the lobby, and it doesn't reset the cooldown. So yeah, as you can see, we're about 9 seconds into the game, and I'm able to use my leap. So if you time your leap about 15 seconds left in the game, you're able to then leap right away as soon as the game starts. Last but not least, the Earth class. The Earth class has a very strong ability, which reduces the knockback taken when the player is on the ground by 80%, which is very useful in both PvP and preventing from being knocked off the map. Earth's other ability is Throwable Dirt. Throwable Dirt does 5 blocks of knockback, 1 heart of damage, and has a 20-second cooldown and 15 block range. Alright, so now I'm going to do an overview of all the classes. I would rank Ice, Fire, and Metal as Tier 2 classes because they all only have 1 ability. If damage resistance actually worked, Metal would definitely be Tier 1. As is obvious by my ratings, Earth and Air are the 2 Tier 1 classes. They are both very strong, however I found Air to be slightly more effective. But if you're looking for what class to choose, I would use this as a rule of thumb. If you die more than 50% of the time due to void damage, then use the Air class. If you die more than 50% of the time due to PvP, then use the Earth class. In terms of winning and experience, I have found that I win slightly higher percentage of the time using the Earth class, but on average I earn slightly more experience using the Air class. This is because with Air you can move around faster to get kills, but you are also more likely to die from PvP. However, I usually use the Air class, though, due to how quickly you could get to the center of certain maps, sometimes under 10 seconds. Alright, here's a quick recap of what to take away from this video. Air and Earth are the best classes, Air is better at mobility and recovery, and Earth is better at PvP. Iron ore can spawn anywhere between 1 and 25-ish iron ingots. Leap can be done in the waiting lobby to get around the 30-second cooldown when the game starts. And lastly, Metal's ability damage resistance is currently broken and does not work. Alright, well that's going to wrap up this video, and I will see you guys in the next one.